Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to another edition. Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. I am DJ Impact. I got the Vegas Bad Boys here with you all. And we're all excited that you're with us. If you happen to be watching us live, make sure you throw those comments in the chat. We're now available on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitch Live. We've moved up. We're like the Jeffersons. We moved on up, so now we can talk to a lot more of you instead of just one platform. And we're very excited for that. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about. We're still going to stick to our same segment, but we're also going to be adding in some of the Rumble. I know a lot of you have a lot to say about that. So make sure you throw it in the comments and we will get it on as we normally do. Okay. So with that, let's start with our four-way stop. All right, let's kick it off with you. Sin City Steve, tell us, what is your four-way stop, the highlights for you this week?
Highlights for me this week. I know that we just came off of the Rumble, but first things first that I've got to talk about is the Sammy Guevara and Cody Rhodes ladder match from Dynamite Beach Break this past Wednesday. Honestly, it was one of the better ladder matches that I've seen in recent memory, largely because of the way that everything was laid out. They didn't just dive right in and start using the ladder as soon as the bell rang. They worked up to that. And of course you had your crazy spots, Sammy with that amazing, you can't even necessarily call it a springboard, but he leaped from one ladder to the other and gave Cody Rhodes a cutter off the top. Just amazing stuff there. And then, I do want to mention the Women's Royal Rumble. This year, the Women's Royal Rumble definitely just crushed it over the men's. Furthered storylines, had more surprises than the men's, and Ronda, of course, won in the worst kept secret in history. So,
no doubt. All right, that's it for you, man.
Yeah.
Let's then go over to you, Mr. Simon Street. What was your highlight?
Well, I'm definitely just going to go ahead and go with the Royal Rumble impressions. First and foremost, I agree 100% with Sin City Steve. Women's Royal Rumble knocked it out the ballpark. A lot of the people, as we talked about on the prediction show too, because they named some of these names ahead of time, it gave us more of that pool of who's going to come in. And some of the names they dropped was cool. I mean, it was real cool. Couple of other highlights from Royal Rumble that I thought were really good. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins was a really good match to start off the whole Rumble. I really love the mind games that Seth Rollins coming out to the Shield Old music, coming through through the stadium and everything. To me, adding layers upon layer of context to our match really does go the distance, and they sure the hell did. I mean, obviously, Roman Reigns no longer has his winning streak, which some people don't realize, because I almost got in an argument with somebody because they was like, no, he's still going to be holding. No. That counts as a loss. That ends a streak. He holds the title, but he no longer has that streak. So that was something that I'm pretty sure on Monday Night Raw, they'll probably flesh out to some degree or through the week or whatever on SmackDown. Outside of that, super happy for Ronda Rousey. Super happy when she came in, how she came in, and also some other honorable mentions too. Michelle McCool. A lot of people weren't talking about it. She kind of came in there and held her own. She looked really, really good. I mean, obviously, her and Undertaker, sure work out together, quite thoroughly with their workout and stuff. So it was just cool. Royal Rumble, I got told Impact 8.5 out of 10. Maybe I'm giving too much, but I'm cool with that. That's what I gave it. The men's was a little slapped together. I'll talk about that later.
All right, no doubt. Let's jump over to you, Matt Michaels. What's your four-way stop?
Well, I think you got to go along the lines of Brock and Ronda winning the Rumble as being major headlines. Of course, when you have two recognizable people like that, you see that just having that presence changes everything for the way the crowd reacts. That is, that's something that if you want to bitch and complain about the way WWE does things, you can do that. But the truth of the matter is that their money is in the big stars, and that's what it comes down to. How about Johnny Knoxville in the Rumble? He just took a pounding wonderfully. I think more people need to learn from Mr. Knoxville and willing to take bumps instead of get their shit in. You also the legends mixed into the Rumble for the women not only helped progress the actual Rumble itself, the Battle Royal itself, but it then shined light on the fact that there wasn't as much planned for the men's Rumble in itself. So I think that that's kind of one of those things that shined a big light on that, that kind of whole. Overall, though, the Seth and Roman match and Brock and Lashley matches were perfect for the setup that needed to be for the what the night was going to be, and it was done basically in a 3-chapter story, and you can't get better than that for putting it out there.
Yeah, no doubt, man. We had a prediction show, and this is my my 4-way stop. We had a prediction show, and listen, I'm not a person to never gloat, but I had a moment, and let me get my timer in there so I don't extend my my time and my celebration. But I had a moment, and it went a little something like this. Now, here's the deal. If the Roman Reigns match happens before the Brock Lesnar match, and I think they probably would end with Roman Reigns, but if for some reason the Roman Reigns match goes first, I believe Roman would interfere in Brock Lesnar's match with Bobby and cause Bobby to become champion, which will now set up Roman and Brock for the Mania title. I think if that happens, if Roman's match is first, because if it's not first, then Brock can always in his match come out and interfere in his match. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think if there's going to be a crazy swerve, believe it or not, it could be in the Brock match, because again, technically he wasn't supposed to be that champion. All right, there you go. So I just want to celebrate that. Pat on my back. Oh, thank you. Is that what Ciampa does?
Hold on. If you're gonna pat yourself on the back, you got to do it a little bit lower. Impact. It's a little bit lower. It's below the belt. But I can give you props. You were right.
Hey, good job, Impact. As we all know, a broken clock is right twice a day. So.
Good job.
I'll take it. Never doubt, I was excited to see that, and when Paul Heyman gave that belt to the tribal chief, it made my night. So
yeah, it also made me go, guess what? Brock Lesnar is winning the Rumble.
Yep.
But DJ doesn't say anything about how I call that, but that's okay. We'll let you gloat.
I'm sorry. Was you on the show? Maybe I don't remember. I just put the proof out there so people don't think I'm just trying to call something that I didn't really say. No, I can't recall if you said that or not.
He just gave himself 2 more minutes too. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Look, Impact. I'm gonna be real. My girl predicted that Brock Lesnar was gonna win the Royal Rumble, but she still doesn't understand technicality. I was talking about the match with Bobby Lashley, but technically she was right because he did win the Royal Rumble. So at the end of the day, Michaels does have a point. I hate to say the shit, but he does have a point.
All right, let's get to our 2 sweet for the week. All right, let's go over to Sin City. Who's your 2 sweet for the week?
My 2 sweet for the week. I briefly touched on it in the first topic, but Sammy Guevara. Yes, we just are coming off of one of the big 4 WWE pay-per-views, but if I didn't mention the work that Sammy put in that ladder match, it would be criminal. The guy really had a great outing, and quite frankly, they had a lead-in of 1.3 million viewers, and they largely held that up until the start of the third quarter hour. So definitely, yeah, these, he and Cody, did a bang up job to kick off Dynamite. Elsewhere, Ronda Rousey, obviously coming back from her time off. She eliminated 4 in the Rumble. And as soon as she came out, it was pretty much a foregone conclusion that she was going to win the damn thing. So yeah, it was awesome. But I did like how they intentionally had her defeat or throw out Charlotte last. That way, nobody would, nobody in the audience would boo Ronda actually picking up the win. So I think that was actually really smart booking by WWE on that.
Yeah.
And then I'll go ahead and throw it out there. Orange Cassidy. I'm mentioning this just because no one else will. Again, Cassidy, he looked really solid in his match with Adam Cole in the non-canon lights out match to end Dynamite Beach Break. And finally getting the monkey off his back, if you will, and finally, defeating Adam Cole, even if it doesn't count in the record books. So pretty solid week all around.
All right. I'll give you that. Simon Street, what you got?
Pretty much my too sweet for the week is comes from Impact Wrestling. I actually watched Impact Wrestling 2 weeks in a row. Imagine that. Wow. And I did watch Chris Bay versus Jake Something, which you had mentioned many weeks ago, and I finally got a chance to see Jake Something. He's quite impressive, actually. Yeah. And I think it's interesting because when shit happens to people, they say something hit Bay. I was like, oh, that's pretty freaking ingenious. Besides the point, what I'm more talking about with Too Sweet for the week is what happened after the match. So, basically Chris Bay lost to Jake Something, and then, Bullet Club members, Gorillas of Destiny came out and put a stomp on that boy. And they basically sent a shout out to the Good Brothers saying, we coming for your titles. So that got me really excited. I'm actually wearing the shirt and everything that I've had for many, many years. It was actually exciting. So, that goes into something that I want to talk about down the road about Forbidden Doors and such, because when I think of Tommy Tonga and Tangaloa, I would love them to go through Forbidden Doors and face other tag teams. I'll just leave it at that. And that was pretty much my too sweet for the week.
There's you sign a contractual agreement that you have to wear the Vegas Bad Boy shirts all the time. Did you forget that for any particular reason?
You also left out the prerequisite that I actually had to be able to read. So I my reading level is that of Floyd Mayweather. So some of those words are just not so good.
I understand. Let's jump over to you, Matt Michaels. Who is your too sweet?
Well, it's not just his reading level. The punches to the head also make him a lot like Mayweather. So. It's got to be Brock and Roman. Everything that went down this week in terms of the story getting forward was something that was definitely very well done, well executed, planned out perfectly. You didn't have Heyman giving any indication of tipping off the fact that he was going to hand the belt over. And even with those actions, he still didn't necessarily show that he was 100% behind Roman. It almost looks like he's jumping back and forth, between whoever's going to be the champion type of feel. So, and we'll see him get his coming. That's, you wouldn't want to piss off Brock Lesnar, that's for sure.
That's right.
The idea that people are mad that the men's Rumble wasn't that good or wasn't well executed. It's funny because you have the same people bitching about, oh yeah, they need more people in there because you don't see this new stuff and blah 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 blah. And yet guys like Cesaro weren't even in the Rumble. So this whole idea that they don't have any fresh blood or anyone to to really get behind. That's why guys like Brock Lesnar are winning. That's not it. It's ratings, and that's what they're going after. And we'll see what happens, mainly because they got to sell tickets to WrestleMania.
That's right. Good stuff. Well, I tell you, my too sweet for the week actually kicked off the beginning of the week with Monday Night Raw. I really enjoyed the match with AJ Styles and Austin Theory. Um, I mean, that was really just incredible. And really, it just showed because we already know how great AJ Styles is, but the fact that Austin Theory was able to shine as well, to get a few moves off, things I quite didn't even understand. He did something that he did sort of a roll up and automatically, I don't know, he rolled up and went backwards and had AJ style right to the mat. It was just incredible. I think uh Corey called it a stand-in blockbuster, that particular move. I'm not saying that's the name of it, but just really giving his props. He also did a move where AJ was sitting on the top of the rope there, and he did just a drop kick just from just standing up, just just to get that high. And just amazing watching Austin Theory really grow into his character. And there's definitely something there. Oh, yeah, he's definitely going to be the future. So it's awesome that they did team him up with Vince McMahon because he's definitely the future. I also want to give just a quick shout out to Danhausen that actually showed up on an AEW. He got pulled from under the ring when Cole pulled out the table, and it was just so funny seeing Danhausen. I of course, I'm a Ring of Honor fan, so when I saw him, it was just like, oh, that's cool to see Dan. I had to try to imitate him to my wife so she can understand why. Because hey, I'm Danhausen. I tell you what I do. You don't tell me what to do. I tell you what to do. That's Danhausen right there. Love that guy. Whatever. Let's get with
that. You know what that is? That's cute.
No, I'm sure
that's definitely one word for it.
Matt Michaels would probably say that imitation is the WTF of the week. All right, Michaels, you up first.
Yeah, your impersonation is not the WTF. Although I thought you were going to say that you painted yourself in whiteface to give the idea of what Danhausen's like. No, we'll just say no. What the fuck to Danhausen being brought in like that? It was another fucking stupid. Hey, the 86 people in attendance know who this guy is because they're all fucking marks. But people tuning in on the fucking show, if you don't have any clue, who the fuck is this?
Why? I don't know. I'm gonna have to butt in. I don't like to button in, but he got a pretty nice pop. Quite a few people.
Did you hear what I said? From the people who are in there, who are fucking marks, who know who the fuck it is. If you don't know who this guy is, what the fuck was that? If you've never heard of Danhausen in your life, and all the guys are just going, it's Danhausen, it's Danhausen, you're going, who the fuck? All right, that's as simple as it. That's all. You know him. You've watched Ring of Honor, so that's why you know him. If you hadn't, you'd been like, well, who the fuck's this guy? The basic question.
Okay.
But in general, that whole match was what the fuck. It was fucking awful. Adam Cole looked like he was just fucking, hey, I got my paycheck? Okay, I'll just go through the fucking steps here. Especially with that shit fucking bump into this is the slowest fucking bump into something off the stage ever seen. It was horrible. And apparently they didn't learn anything. No crash pad underneath all that fucking plywood and shit. So yeah, man. What Ollie J, what the fuck? NXT rap, fuck it. Don't like it.
Okay. All right. Simon Street, I'm gonna come over to you then, man. What's your what the this week?
Well, this week was actually first and foremost the men's Royal Rumble being slopped together, and it's more of everybody saying it. I'm more like what the fuck because first of all, were you surprised? No. If you were, then well, welcome. There was a couple of things that I think could have been done a little bit better. I mean, it wasn't as horrible as we've seen it before, just to be completely honest with you. There are a couple of things that really stood out to me that were really what the fuck. First and foremost, Kofi Kingston's our traditional Royal Rumble stunt totally failed. But I got to give props to WWE for doing what they haven't done. All right, his feet were touching. There goes your moment. Done deal, right? A couple of things that I did not like, about how people are saying that literally it was slopped together is, let's be real, Bad Bunny was a really good entrant, and he utilized the time very well. The boy went and had some protein shakes, and he looked more comfortable in a ring than Dominic looks comfortable in a ring. I want him and Rey Mysterio to be a group and go for the tag team titles. I'll pitch that shit to the moon. Dominic need to go back to Boy Scouts and learn how to wrestle. I'm just saying, no offense, just being real. I'm being real. Shit. But with some other things that I really wasn't feeling. I feel like for some of the great moments that they had, like the moment where you saw AJ Styles and you had Robert Roode, and they had that TNA moment. The crowd was screaming TNA. It was really great. Damian Priest kind of coming out. I felt like he was going to do more. Really, just didn't do as much as I thought he was going to do. But the biggest thing that really kind of irritated me is the end. Yes, I know Michael's is not going to like, so I'm going to take 3 seconds. Bull fucking shit. He was going to face Roman regardless.
Okay. All right. Anyone who's watching us live at the moment, throw your comments in. Tell us if you had any what the fucks this week that you want to chime in there, and we will we'll see if we agree with you. Until then, Sin City Steve, what did you have, man, for this week?
All right, man. So first off, the opening match to the Rumble was an awesome match. You had Seth Rollins coming out to the Shield music and the entrance with the gear, and both guys brought it. Very, very solid match. And then we get to the finish. What the fuck? Okay, so yeah, I get it. That's definitely one way to get around, having one guy take the fall in that match, but it didn't get over with the crowd. I've talked to people that were in attendance live, and they were completely taken out of the moment by the finish to the match. And yeah, I definitely have to agree with them. So unfortunately, that match was great itself, but the finish was just terrible. Also, Sasha Banks' elimination. She was in the match for the Women's Royal Rumble match for maybe 10 minutes. Keep in mind, this is just after it being announced that she was going to be in the Rumble, and they made a big ordeal out of it. So her elimination definitely came off very anticlimactic. And speaking of Rumbles, let's talk about the Men's Royal Rumble for just a minute. Things just lagged. I don't know exactly how to put my finger on it, what exactly was missing, but there was just something missing in this Rumble compared to other Rumbles that we've seen in the past. Hardly any real surprises, not too much in the way of furthering storylines throughout the match, especially in the beginning. I think that the Kofi Kingston elimination botch really threw a wrench into things. So that's why I'm kind of giving them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, that Men's Royal Rumble was a total fucking snooze fest. What the fuck?
And that actually goes right into mine where, Kofi's. I think from this point, and I think I had said this as he was coming out, that this needs to be over. You had some great moments in terms of trying to figure out some cool things to do. Just stop from this point, retire it. Now just get in the ring and try to kick ass as much as you can, because that didn't go. No, go ahead. You can jump into my time. It's perfectly fine. I have a minute and 20 seconds.
No, it's just really funny that all of a sudden you guys kind of forget what pro wrestling is, and that is showmanship. If Kofi goes in and quote unquote kicks ass, Kofi's going to be thrown out within 3 people. Come on.
Kofi can hang.
He's there to do the fucking spots.
He's not going to get kicked out immediately. He's going to have his moments. He's going to do some of his moves, and we get to enjoy that. I would enjoy that more than him trying to fly like he's Superman over and hold on to a security rail the way that was when I saw that happen, and I didn't even think that shit was going to work. It's bullshit. Kofi needs to let it go. We enjoyed it the past few years, but it's done. Now, my other WTF for the week, what the fuck is this Layla Hirsch and Red Velvet match? You know what? My God, AEW, give up on the fucking women's matches already. Let's just stick to the men's. I'll take that. I don't know what the fuck that was. I mean, it was like watching high school wrestling, but I think I've seen high school wrestling done a lot better. It just doesn't make any sense there. It's in slow motion. It's like, should I kick her? No, maybe I shouldn't kick her. Maybe I should go to the ring. Maybe I shouldn't go to the ring. I should not see your thought process as you're trying to do the move. That to me was like the worst of the week.
I agree with you.
My God.
Straight up.
All right, let's get to our lookout. What are we excited for? All right, Simon Street. Let me start with you this time, man. What you looking out for? What you liking so far?
I'm definitely liking Diamond Mine on NXT 2.0. They're getting ready to go up against Imperium next week, and in 6-man match. And I just want to say that for me, my taste, as far as if you're going to have a proper faction, you got to have a good mouthpiece. And Bivin has stepped up to the plate and has done just that. That promo that he had this week, that they showed with Diamond Mine in the background, the Creed brothers was training in the background and everything. He was mouthing off. The shit is gold. I like it. I think it's really, really cool. And I hope that they kind of go the distance with it, me personally. So, like I said, Diamond Mine is definitely something to look out for. I think that I would love to say NXT put some stock into that. I don't know. We'll see. A lot of things have changed with WWE and the expectations of what NXT 2.0 is supposed to be. But I would hope that Diamond Mine stays in the conversation. I would like to see that continue on because so far as factions are concerned, that's a believable faction.
Okay. All right. Let me jump over to you, Matt Michaels.
Oh, let's just go with Bad Bunny because you don't know what's going to happen in WrestleMania. Obviously, he, it seems that that's why he was brought back in. I personally think you team him with Damian Priest and then have Priest beat the fuck out of him and have Priest finally go full heel. That's one way to do that. I also I have to be on the lookout for anything that says Cody Rhodes is involved in it. That ladder match was not fucking great. It was not fucking 5 stars, Dave Meltzer. Get the dick out of the mouth. Steve, but you do that, and the only one who you really, really said anything about was Sammy Guevara. You didn't really say shit about Cody. And that's what I'm getting down to, is that Cody Rhodes is a fucking hindrance right now. Leave. Get off TV. Get the fuck out there. And take the Bucks with you, please. For God's sakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually agree on something.
By the way, while you got a few seconds, do you guys think that Bad Bunny's managers are almost kind of freaking out? I mean, he just announced a huge tour, and now he's getting in the ring doing these matches. I mean, wait till the tour's over.
Shit, his life insurance policy is probably going through the fucking roof. They are like, liability. Change the plan. Tell him to stop.
I think I'm going to wait to buy my Bad Bunny tickets when he hit Allegiant Stadium and see if he's going to even make the show first.
He will, man. I'm so proud of that dude. Real talk. I changed my tune. I'm just gonna put it out there. I changed my tune from last WrestleMania. Real talk.
All right. All right. So that's be you, Sin City. You're next, right? Let's go.
Yeah. So I'll just call it what it is. I'm looking at the elephant in the room. I am really interested to see exactly how they pull off the Brock and Roman Reigns Mania storyline. We all know that Brock is going to face Reigns at Mania. But it's going to come down to the storytelling and how they weave this this nice tapestry, if you will, that we're going to be able to see on the route to WrestleMania. Just how much in the way of nuance is going to be there, or is it just going to be a flat thing where they're going to, come out on SmackDown, they being the Bloodline, and, gloat saying, haha, we tricked you the entire time. Or is it going to be, as was mentioned earlier in the show, something to where Paul is just going to play off of, whoever the hot hand is. And it's going to be really interesting to see how they tell this story, because obviously we all know at the end, Paul has to get his. It's just a question of the events leading up to it. And that is definitely what's single-handedly getting me prepared for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. You got tickets for that, Cassidy?
I will not be in attendance.
Oh, shame.
Just like how I was not in attendance for the Royal Rumble, I will not be in attendance for Mania.
Oh man! All right, I'm gonna find the shame sound effect, because I think I'm gonna be using it on a lot of you guys going forward. So I'm gonna find it. From Game of Thrones, right? Ding,
Yeah,
ding.
Game of Thrones. We don't have to get naked for that, do we? I'm not doing that shit. If you see Game of Thrones, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I feel you. You know what? This actually caught my interest. The storyline with possibly breaking up parts of the inner circle, with Santana and and Ortiz, wanted to separate from Jericho. And I've been seeing this kind of now play out, and I think this could be a good thing. The question I want to see is, when they actually depart from him and break up, are they going to have that run for the titles and actually get it? Or will it just come to a point where they just, they separate them, but they're just always chasing it? I mean, that would be kind of dumb, right? The whole point of them separating is because they never got theirs. So I'm just kind of seeing where this is going to go. I like Santana and Ortiz. We're going to see what happens. But I'm looking out to see what happens in that whole thing. I'm going to tell you what I'm not looking for now, and that is the MJF CM Punk match. I think now, as exciting as you think it would be, it is. Now, we all know that Mr. TK wants to, I'm sure, do things differently, but it just seems like that it's constantly that MJF has got the upper hand always on Punk. So are you telling me now that in Chicago, he's also going to have the upper hand, although he's been having those upper hands all the past 3 weeks? No, which means another win in CM Punk column, which I don't get it. It doesn't make sense. I'm not excited for it. I'm not excited for something like that. They blew it. It was almost about to be something I was getting excited for.
They didn't blow it. They didn't blow it. It was in his contract when he signed. I can't lose.
Apparently.
Prove me wrong. That's all we've seen so far.
Yeah. I actually thought that this was going to be the moment. No. Oh, well. Well, we'll keep it moving. Let's get to our best in show for the week. All right. Now I'll start with you, Sin City. What was your best in show this week?
My best in show this week, and I know that I'm rolling against the tide with this, but it was not the Royal Rumble. My best in show this week was Beach Break. Quite frankly, I enjoyed that show more than I did the Royal Rumble. Yes, it had the abomination that was Red Velvet versus legit Layla Hirsch. But outside of that, I mean, you had the lights out match, which, I thought was a pretty solid match. Had the ladder match, which I thought was a great ladder match, contrary to other opinions. And then the trios match with Jericho, Santana, and Ortiz defeating Daniel Garcia in 2.0. And as you just had mentioned, Impact, where do we go with this inner circle split? And much as I had mentioned with the Roman Reigns and Brock storyline, how many layers of nuance will we actually have? Or is this just going to be a quick, yeah, fuck you, Jericho, fuck you, Santana and Ortiz, and then they go their separate ways? But yeah, I really enjoyed this show this week.
Okay. How about you, Mr. Simon Street, man? Best in show.
Well, I would definitely say my week's in best in show is Impact Wrestling. And I got to say, Impact, DJ Impact, you have made me a believer. I got to sit here and tell you, I see exactly what you mean week in, week out when you repping hard for the squad about Impact.
Yeah.
Oh, finally get a chair. I got to cater to your ego to get a chair. All right, well then fine. We're going to get it tonight though, baby. All right, so at the end of it all, I watched Impact Wrestling for 2 weeks in a row and have been pleased. And it's not much that has moved me per se. It's just how things flow, and they flow decent.
True.
They taking simple concepts and they making the shit shine. And this week was no different, and I appreciate it because, again, like we talked about, AEW on the road to trying to figure this out. They got a bigger deck they got to deal with, so I give them at least that. But for someone that doesn't watch, you should be able to watch it and not feel totally confused, like you just ended up in the middle of a Transformers movie. You don't know what the fuck happened the first 30 minutes. So they did. It was cool. Yeah. You know, like I said earlier, the highlights was obviously Chris Bay and Jake something was cool. But, I mean, even at the end, PCO going up against Chris Sabin, that was a cool fucking ass match.
Yeah, well,
you know what I'm saying? And then at the end, the culmination of the invasion of the No Honor. We already know. We didn't seen him live. This is the dude.
The moves he does. I'm always going, PCO, you know your age, right? You know your age.
He don't know his age. He don't know his body. It's disconnected from his mind. I don't think he has feeling sensors in his body of pain. You know, and a couple of good things too, like, you know, Jonah came in, he looked good. I mean, he looked intact. Like if NXT didn't fucking dumped on him, he went right back to what he's doing. It looks good. There was things to where I had questions, and like I said, I'll be trying my best to get access because I ain't got access. When I get access, I'm gonna Impact all the way.
All right, no doubt. Matt Michaels.
Oh, it's the Rumble easily. There you go. There's my 2 minutes, hands down.
Well, you know what? I'll take part of that. I also chose the Rumble, and I'll tell you this: what they did for Mickie James was perfect. That's all I was asking for. They played the music. She came down with the belt. She was recognized as the Impact Knockouts champion. Bravo.
Isn't it funny how the WWE worked with Impact and they made something work, and AEW just shit all over Impact?
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. You know, and even though she didn't still win, she still got her props and got a big pop too from the fans. So that was great too. But now let me say something that you're not gonna like, and that's the fact that now that Mickie James repped well, it's time for her to give up that belt and give it back to the true women's champion over there at Knockouts, Deonna Purrazzo. Please take that belt. We're done now with Mickie James. You know, I'm ready for this next match. It's as far as I'm concerned, I think she should just be holding that belt forever until someone can show me that they deserve to have that belt from Deonna. I'm just saying.
Oh, in that case,
let me guess you'd like to take it off her, right? Would you like to take it off her?
She'll kick my ass, man. I couldn't take it from her.
You might let her kick your ass.
Oh man. All right. Well. I guess we got it all, guys. That is the show. Anyway, we thank everybody for listening or hanging out with us. Continue to download the podcast. We're on all platforms. Just look up Vegas Bad Boyz with a Z, and make sure you share, like, and tell people who like wrestling about us. You know, that's all we need. We're growing, and we thank you for helping us do just that. We have a lot of other programming on our platform as well. You know, the Falco Files is continuing to grow. It was a great interview that we just had with Killer Cross. Now, some of you may know him more as carrying Cross, some of the newer fans, but we've known him for a while, and you want to hear that interview. All right. If you get a chance, download that latest podcast for that, the Falco Files, and take a listen to that. I think you're going to really enjoy that. With that, we're going to end the show. If you're watching us live, we're going to be back in a few minutes to do 3 count. We got 3 good topics. I think you're going to definitely want to hear and add your piece too. So if you're listening live, you get a chance to put in the comments and then we will respond. But if you're not, and you're listening to us on the podcast, thank you for downloading again. We appreciate you. We love you all. We will see you next time, next week. It's always some new wrestling events and things going on. So we'll be there to give it to you. All right. Peace.